let's talk about O week. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Who's Jason. Oh, fuck. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jason. Nice to meet you. And today we are gonna talk about... Shut up. We're gonna talk about O week. I don't know if this is the same for all unis and colleges globally, but O week is essentially, it's short for orientation week, and it happens every start of semester to kind of orientate students who are coming in, remind them of what clubs are on, what events are happening for the semester, quick and easy seminars for students of a particular major so that they know what to expect when they choose their majors or when they're starting their first year of university. And today, we're gonna talk about that. Specifically, this video is for first year students, but if you're someone who is starting a new degree or starting a new year at university, and it's been a while for you since you've been, basically what I'm trying to say here is, if this is gonna be your first time at uni in a long time, or your first time at uni ever, stick around. I have some survival tips for you. Might not apply to everyone, but I just want to be able to help people. If it helps, fantastic. So, one of the first things that I do want to offer as advice for first year students is studying is not your life at uni. I get that grades are gonna be important, you need to get the high numbers if you want to pass, if you want to get a high GPA, if you want to graduate. I understand that, but as someone who goes to a uni where the minimum requirements to actually graduate, passing your entire degree with at least an average of 50% of your grades in total, numbers aren't the most important. I'm going nowhere, but what I'm trying to say is studying is not the most important part of your time at uni. What you're going to see at orientation week or whatever similar event you have at your own uni, you're going to see a lot of clubs advertising for new recruits. One thing that I would offer to a lot of new students is join a club. Doesn't matter which one. If it's something to do with your hobby, that is great. Join film club, join the writers guild, join a theater company, join an a cappella group, join a sports team. My uni has a Quidditch team. I joined that for a little bit. That was fun. Made some cool friends while I was there. With clubs, it's very easy to meet like-minded people, and it's very easy to make friends. And I think that is the most important part if you want to stay sane at uni. You need to have friends who are kind of going through the same things as you are. We're all at uni. We're all studying. We're all suffering a little bit. It's good to be suffering together rather than alone. With that as well, if your uni offers seminars during O week for a particular degree or for your own major, I highly recommend going to those and meeting new people there, because networking is always very important, I think. At least for my own degree, networking is one of the most important things that you can do within your own major, because at the very least, you know who's good to work with for group assignments, especially. You know who to look for when you're asking questions. Aside from your lecturers or your tutors, they'll be able to assist you. We all need the help that we can get at uni, because it's not going to be easy for everyone. I'll say that outright. Uni is a different world from high school. I feel like some people don't know that. It's good to get that heads up, but I actually got this tip from another video. I think it might have been from Study Quill. This video is not associated with her. This video is not in collaboration with Study Quill, but for the sake of some of the tips that I'm offering, I have been learning something from other study YouTube channels, and they can go through this in more depth than I can. I'm just offering what advice that I wish I would have known But StudyQuill actually offered this great piece of advice. When you're making friends for a study group, form a study group with friends who are not doing the same classes or not doing the same major as you. Because apparently, you will tend to start complaining about your unit. You'll tend to start complaining about the assignment, and it will just go down into a rabbit hole of like actually talking about it and not doing the work that you need to. Aside from joining clubs and making friends, one of the things with O Week is that you need to also look out for student deals and discounts. Some clubs will offer discounts at particular restaurants because they're sponsored by them or something, but O Week tends to offer some student discounts for particular things like books, stationery, food on campus. After O Week, you're gonna start your semester. For me, as a first year student back like 2 years ago, this was one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn. Uni is not high school. I said it earlier, it's obvious to some, but I feel like it's something that hasn't been fully ingrained in some people, but uni is not high school. You cannot study for subjects in uni the same way you did study for subjects in high school. You might have study techniques that work for you. That's fine, that is perfect. If it works for you and you think it will work for you in uni, that's great. I'm not trying to judge you on that. I'm just saying, don't approach uni as if it were high school. Because when I went to high school, I studied 5 subjects every year, every semester, and it was manageable, it was easy. You know, I was able to organize my notes, I was able to study somewhat efficiently, I was able to like pass some of my exams. But when it came to uni, studying 5 subjects a semester is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. When you're enrolling for classes, enroll for what can fit in your timetable. I think that's something that a lot of people tend to forget. If you enroll for subjects that you know you can manage with your own personal timetable, you need to be mindful of, will the classes that you take up too much of your time? Because 5 subjects is manageable. 5 subjects you can do in uni, but you will not have time for a social life. You will not have time for work. You will not have time for literally anything else. You will only be dedicating your life to studying for 6 months. And that's one of the worst things you can do for your mental health, I think. The way that my uni functions is they will usually say 4 subjects a semester is enough to complete your degree in 4 years. And that's currently what I'm doing. This is going on a tangent. I just spontaneously made this video without actually planning ahead. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is enroll in subjects that are manageable for you and don't overload yourself with work. You need to take care of your mental health. Like, studying is great, graduating early is great, but take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health first. That is one of the most important things. If my computer just died, oh no, my cute background. Take care of your mental health first, because truly that is one of the most important things, I think, to stay sane during uni, to actually be able to survive. What else? What other pieces of advice? This video was not planned. I just had the idea coming home from watching The Cruise, and immediately I just went, this is a video idea that I need to do. So we've gone through O Week, we've gone through choosing your subjects, resource management. If you're like me, you're broke. Hate to say it. If you're like me, you're a broke uni student and you don't really have the capacity to be spending hundreds of dollars on textbooks and equipment for your degree on top of your tuition, especially if you're studying things like a science or like something very practical heavy where you're gonna need all these different kinds of equipment on top of textbooks. You need to learn how to manage your resources efficiently. Why did I say that so slowly? One of the biggest tips that I can offer in terms of resource management is, if you have friends who are doing the same degree and are a couple years ahead of you and are closer to graduation, you can ask them if they've done the same units that you are for that semester. You can ask them if you can take a look at their notes. You can ask them for some advice on how to tackle an assignment or an exam. Your friends in the later years of your degree are one of the most important people that you can talk to. Like, yes, your professors can answer some questions, yes, your tutors can help with assignments, but the students know best because they have experienced it. They're not the ones grading it, and the ones grading it can offer some helpful advice, but students who have done the assignments before, students who have gone through the unit before will know what to expect. they can prepare you better for exams and assignments. In terms of textbooks, buy them secondhand. Try to buy them secondhand. If you're buying textbooks secondhand, an edition or two earlier than what is prescribed to you is fine. It's not going to affect the curriculum at all, unless your professor for some reason tells you you need to get the latest edition. Usually that's a lie, because you can survive with something like the 4th edition from a couple years ago for a class that says you need the 6th edition, because it will be the same content, but half the time it's just updated examples for what's happening. In my case, I studied marketing in my first semester in my first year, and my teacher was very adamant on using the latest edition of the marketing textbook. And so I bought that one. I bought a secondhand copy because that edition was released like a year before I started. The only real difference was that that edition of the textbook really only had examples relating to Twitter, Kim Kardashian, celebrities, and brands that are current after 2016 or something. Like, that's really all it was. A lot of the examples were only recognizable in that because they were events that had happened after 2016. For some people, they had the earlier editions and had much more earlier examples that they didn't quite understand. It really is up to preference. I recommend just getting a second-hand book if you don't mind the examples being a little bit confusing. Ebooks are so helpful though. If you can get your hands on an ebook, if you know someone who has an ebook, ask about it. If your uni has a Facebook group, usually a lot of the students, past and present, are going to be joining in and kind of just being helpful in ways you would not imagine. People would be asking questions about where buildings are, or where is the best place to have. That's gonna be censored. That is not what my channel is about, and we are not going any further than that. They can be toxic, but they are helpful 90% of the time. That is actually where I first started asking about textbooks secondhand around my 2nd semester, I think, of my first year. And through that, I found very cheap ebooks for $10, which was like a couple $100 cheaper than the actual ebook if I bought it from the uni bookstore. Some people will offer suggestions of following other uni-related pages created by students where they would just share resources that they've used in previous years, like older textbooks, case studies, things like that. If your uni student community is anything like mine, they will be so incredibly helpful if you're ever asking for any advice regarding textbooks and study. This is a good segue into what I would say would be my final tip. I've been blabbing about like 3 different things. Joining uni social groups, not clubs. Joining your uni's unofficial student groups on social media, such as Facebook groups, Facebook pages, anything similar like that, can help build rapport, can help you find like-minded students in your degree, in your classes, who can help you, who can offer some advice. And also just in general, like any advice that you're seeking out, they will just offer. Joining these groups can offer like a very good social benefit as well, other than the obvious academic things, like asking for secondhand textbooks or advice in subjects, because the memes that you can get out of a uni Facebook group, top notch. They're funny. Some memes will never die, and you will learn that so quickly. Within these uni pages as well, once you've enrolled in your classes, you can ask the student group on Facebook if they have any advice to offer for the subjects that you have enrolled in. For example, I am studying 2 different marketing subjects in this coming semester. I asked about it on my uni's student Facebook group, and they were all just like, they're group projects, don't die, good luck. But they're very easy. Like, that's a summary of what I got in terms of advice. They're not all gonna be helpful, but any advice that you can get on like a specific subject to help you survive for the semester, it's gonna help. It really is just gonna be one of the most helpful things that you can do. And with that, with me finishing off this blabbing, I'm gonna shut up If you like this video, if you like this very quick video, let's split up the comment section a little bit. If you're not a first year student, what is something that you wish you knew when you were a first year, when you first started uni ever? If you're a first year student, do you have any like other questions? Maybe someone else in the comments can answer that for you. Leave a comment, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to hear me blabbing. Please subscribe. I would love the support. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that's gonna be. Bye.